right, this will be on backing. Been seeing some horses at just in general, people having troubles backing their horses. I've seen where the horses kind of lock up, they cannot get them to back up. Every horse is different. Depends on what training your horse has had, how green it is. So some of the things I have seen is people, they can't get their horse to back up, so they're leaning back, they're pulling, and the horse is just locked. They're not moving, they're pulling against. So some of the fixes for that, again, depends on the horse and how far along they are, but pulling solid, the horses can pull against you. They can set their feet and pull against you more. So if you have a horse that's locked up, does not want to back, don't pull solid, but try pulling one rein at a time. Or I do a pull and release, pull and release, pull and release. If they're still not back, still kind of locked up, you can turn them a little bit and get them to kind of unlock. You can go just kind of move them to the side. What we do with our horses is we use our whip to kind of get them to use their hind end, to use their motion. If we want them to back faster, we actually will use our whip, which sounds, I know, kind of opposite for backing, but back, back, back. So pull and release, pull and release. Like I said, if they're locked up, try moving their front end over a little bit and then trying it. Sometimes they can just take a step forward, will help. Even walking them forward and then trying again. And I use my whip a lot. I also use my whip to keep them to back straight. So some horses, especially if you know your horse has troubles with one side being crooked, before I even ask to back, I will tap with the whip. And when they do back, in the beginning, if they back a couple of steps, then release. It's important to release. You don't want to just pull back and never give them any release, because that's for one, it's not fair to the horse, but they don't understand what you mean. All they think is you're just reaming on their face. It makes no sense to them. If you have a horse that does not like backing, they're real hard in the mouth, they're real slow. What we do on our horses, what really helps a lot, is that's the last thing we do before we get out of our cart. That's the reward. They have to back. I try to make them back more difficult for where they are in their training. And backing several steps, and they need to back lightly, not pull on me, not be gaping their mouth. And then I get out of the cart, and that's how I end my session. And it doesn't take them long to learn that backing is a reward, and they are finished. Sometimes that works against you when you're sitting around and your horse just starts backing in cart. It's because they want you to get out. So then you have to kind of reverse some of that. So when you're trying to go around obstacles, and you're trying to maneuver, so we're going to try to do a figure 8 over here. So I kind of break it down to you back and then you pivot. So you can back, stop, pivot. Back, stop, and pivot. Pulling the front end of the horse over, using my whip. Back. You can do all one motion, depends on your horse, but I kind of feel like I'm more accurate if I can stop them and move them a little bit versus trying to do it all in one motion. Sometimes I get crooked. So it's just little steps. And then you're going to pivot. And I'm not reaming, I'm pulling, releasing, using my whip a little bit. So I'm pivoting around this cone. So your horse should be light. That's the goal. Pull and release, pull and release. Over. Over. navigation. Back and over. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, some of the problems I have had with my horses, they back pretty well at home. I get to an arena that's deeper, or I practice in a cart like this one that's really lightweight, and then my show cart is heavier, or if you have solid wheels, especially if you're doing the carriage classes and you have solid wheels, your wooden wheels, your steel wheels, and deeper ground, horses, they kind of panic. They get to where they can't move it. I've been in obstacle classes where I've actually on a show where we don't normally use breeching, and I know the ground is deep, and I have a horse that gets worried about it. I'll put a breeching on him. So if the ground is deep, help them out a little bit. There's times when if they're upset, they're not ready for that, go on to the next obstacle. Don't ruin your horse. At home, I will practice with that horse, and our ground is not deep at all. It's the opposite. So the only thing that I can really do is practice on a little bit of an incline. And again, I will work that horse up to it. I will back. I will start adding more weight, and I will end my training session with the back. And that will really help a lot of these horses. Okay, I think that's it.